No,
No,
not at
it
all.
does go out live.
Yes, indeed we go out live.
There's no escape.
As we are now. There's no escape from it.
No escape.
I'm with Chris Roberts, the chairman of the University of the Third Age here in Newry. But you're also, Chris, you're part of a worldwide U3A, or is it just a UK-wide?
No, it's, well, I don't know if the right word's affiliated, but we are part of an umbrella organisation in London-based with all sorts of... I have a colleague who gets very upset if she hears the word branch is being used.
Oh, a branch,
because we're not branches. We are all
autonomous.
Autonomous.
Yeah.
But we have to abide by certain guidelines in order to use the title.
Yeah. Where did it come from?
It came from France,
Really?
funnily enough.
Bit like yourself.
Yeah, it came from France. And it came from France apparently in the early 1970s. If you think about it, Rowan, it's a particularly French idea. It came from France in the early 70s, and it came from the south of France. I think it came from in the Toulouse area of France, the University of Toulouse. Yes. And it was an opportunity maybe for people in their maybe late 40s, early 50s, early 60s, who had never had the benefit of a university education, that the University of Toulouse permitted them to come along, perhaps for a small, tiny fee, and they could come along and sit in on lectures.
Wow!
And hence the word university became very much part of the general title of the organisation. That's one we wrestle with to this day, because we would have members who have been university educated, so that's no problem to them. But equally, we would have members who had not had the opportunity for all sorts of reasons, good reasons, when they were younger, maybe didn't have the opportunity to go to university. And we worry today that they might find that off-putting. You know, I said, well, university, well, I wasn't able to go to university when I was young. I jolly well don't think I'd be able to go now when I'm much older. But of course you can go now, because don't be frightened by the title university. It came from this originally French.
I think the key point is the desire to do it. If you want to do it, If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But embrace that which is offered by the U3A. Is it a theatre of good camaraderie up there? The people are actually working happily together.
Yes.
Works out okay.
Maybe I always like to think that there's a very big element of what you could call the Newry thing in this. You know, this love of Newry people. They love education, they love cultural, artistic endeavours, and they all jolly well like having a chat to each other.
Of course they do.
And we have people who come to classes, and I hear them. Sometimes they say to me, sometimes they're saying amongst each other in the class. They're having a cup of tea after the class, and they'll make a joke of it, and they'll say, you know, I've been coming here for a couple of years now. I don't think my French has improved much, or my Spanish, or my German, or my Irish, but I just love the wee cup of tea afterwards, and a chance to sit down and have a cup of tea and a biscuit and a bit of a chat, and you find out about.
But you've almost grown too large. You're close on 1,000 now. You're heading up. You're 7,500. How many more can you take?
This is a challenge. This is a mighty challenge at the moment, Rowan. We have our AGM on Monday. If all goes to plan, the members will elect a new committee.
Yes.
And it will be very, very much a major issue for that new committee, just how much further we can expand. Not in terms of premises, because we're okay for premise space, but in terms of members, because as a voluntary organisation, we actually don't have any people paid to do the many tasks that it needs doing. The setting up of the syllabus, the making sure tutors know what day to come. If a tutor maybe takes ill, just as if you're a school teacher or you worked in your office or your bank or wherever you were, not very well today, ring in to say, look, I'll not be into work today. I've got a terrible tummy bug. Now, we need our tutors to ring in and tell us, and then the person they tell has to get round to the members who will be coming in good faith for their French class or their Irish class.
But I'm sure that doesn't happen that often.
It doesn't happen that often. No, it doesn't happen that often.
There is an organizational element that's central to what you do there. Yeah.
There's... I mean, you and I could spend a lifetime, sort of looking askance at the whole notion of bureaucracy, and we may be anti-bureaucratic in our own ways.
Well, we've suffered from it.
And we have suffered from the great steamroller that is bureaucracy. But very often, an organisation needs a degree of administration, and inevitably that's a bureaucratic administration.
Absolutely.
But I think the modern world, I think that the very modern world that we find ourselves in today, Rowan, is well served by, it used to frighten me, but now I've got a slightly better handle on it. It doesn't frighten me to the same extent. That's all the different means of communication, Emailing people today. You don't have to telephone them, you email them, you send them texts, you get in touch with them via all these different means of communication. And for most of our members seem never to switch off their iPhones or their laptops or their iPads.
My provenance, and I remember it well, I go back to semaphore as a means of communicating. I learned semaphore in the Scouts, and I could send messages in semaphore. And then I went from that to Morse code in the Navy.
Yes.
And that was okay too. And now I've used typewriters, electric typewriters. Now I use a computer. Now I can do email, now I can do Facebook, now I can copy and paste. But I've taken it in bite-sized chunks.
Yes.
I've done only that which I needed to do at the time.
Yes.
And maybe that's the idea as we grow older.
I think that is the secret. That is only to do what you need to do.
And then build on that slowly along. Yeah.
And then I think what that approach has going for it in a big way, Rowan, is that you are not overawed by the magnitude of it. You can say, well, now, I'm not really that good, but I know how to contact my son or my daughter or...
You put your finger on it.
My uncle up the road or whatever, and as long as I can do that, I'm happy.
Listen, we've got to leave it there because our half hour is gone.
Oh, my goodness.
Where has it gone? That's Chris Roberts, and Chris is the chairman of the Newry University of the Third Age, and your big AGM is on Monday. We wish you all well in that. And
bless you, Rowan.
May you bring us a tsunami of wonderment through the portals of the U3A coming. So we'll bid farewell to the folk now, and we wish you well. I shall